You're courtside at the pit for the beginning of the 2013 high school basketball season on Talk Radio 930 WTAD. I'm Sean Seacrease with multi-time state champion, multi-time Hall of Famer, and now multi-season broadcaster Lori Vogel. Which one of those most impressed you about yourself?
The broadcasting.
Well, you knew you had natural talent, but this had to be developed.
It did. You've been a great teacher.
Well, I think you probably had better teachers than me thus far. We're just glad you're here to join us for another season on Talk Radio 930 WTAD. Let's start with the starters for Incarnate Word. We mentioned Nakia Bell. She is a 5'5" point guard and a senior. She'll be joined on the floor this evening by Nafisa Collier. She is the junior. They'll be flanked by Katie Lacefield, McKenna Treese, and Gwen Adams, the starting lineup for Incarnate Word. Adams, Bell, Collier, Lacefield, and Treese for the Raiders. 4-0 already this season, and your three-time defending Illinois state champs. It'll be Kristen Gittenbacher, Claire Obert, Quinna Keating, Mary Beth Hugenberg, and Cassidy Foley to get things started. The leading scorer on the season so far this year, Kristen Gittenbacher and Mary Beth Hugenberg, each averaging 13 points per game. Let's see if the Lady Raiders and the Incarnate Word Red Knights give us another classic here this evening. The tip-off is up and won by Incarnate Word. Incarnate Word in the head-to-toe red with the white numbers and the gold piping. Down the lane, a push from behind, wipes out the missed layup. And going to the line is Gwen Adams. Adams, one of the impressive posts that Incarnate Word brings to bear when they're on the floor. She'll get a lot of help on the inside. Collier, the junior, she can do it all. She runs on the outside as Bell has it on the left baseline at the free throw line. Easy, wide open jump shot, and it's good for McKenna Treese. 2-0 to start the season, and the Lady Raiders fall behind for a rare moment. At the point, it's Foley. It's a four-guard-oriented system now for Coach Orn and his Lady Raiders. Gone are the days of unusual size where they could bully people in the low post. That started with Gittenbacher some years ago and came to its apex in the years of Jordan Frericks. Now the Raiders trying to work some small ball. Down low, crossing to the near side low post. Up underneath, shot no good from Keating. Rebound by Incarnate Word. 2-0, 1 minute into tonight's game. Incarnate Word on top of Notre Dame. And Lori, the Lady Raiders, going to have to do a better job of rebounding against a big Incarnate Word here tonight as Bell makes the layup for a 4-0 lead.
Incarnate Word has incredible size, and they're just going to continue to pound that ball inside right now on the Lady Raiders, and they're going to have to figure out a way to either front the post or do a double team front and play behind. But Incarnate Word is going to get the ball inside consistently, and that's where they're going to score the majority of their points this evening.
Steal by Incarnate Word, can't control it into the backcourt, and it'll be given back to QND. So the Lady Raiders trailing 4-0, the 57-game win streak. Maybe the biggest challenge that it'll have this season here tonight at the pit. Into the far side corner, Foley wants to drive to the baseline. She'll be gobbled up there by the rotation on the defense. Nowhere to go over the big trees. Weak side rebound put up by Obert and blocked out of bounds. Already Incarnate Word's size and athleticism paying off with that trap in the low post, followed up by a weak side block.
Well, QND's been very stagnant on offense. They're not really moving. They're kind of standing around, and they want to continue to bring the ball inside. They've had 3 shots, and 4 of them blocked.
Gittenbacher up underneath, her shot blocked. Hugenberg on the rebound is fouled, and she'll go to the line. Mary Beth Hugenberg averaging 13 points and 3.5 rebounds per game. Thus far this season, she's been a good free throw shooter at nearly 70% on the season. Hugenberg pounds it down on the line, looking to break the goose egg for the Raiders. The left-hander makes the first, and the Raiders get on the board with one by Hugenberg. Hugenberg looking for the next. You can just see along the lane as the rebounders line up that Incarnate Word just outsizing Notre Dame at nearly every spot on the floor. Second free throw is good, so Hugenberg with a couple, and the Lady Raiders set up their press. Steal in the corner by Foley. Comes straight away for Keating. Keating between the circles, hands it off to Gittenbacher. Gittenbacher wants to come to the near side, fakes the jab step, goes backside to Foley. Foley on the bounce, brings it between the circles. She's pinched by the defense, and a reach by Adams is going to draw another foul on Incarnate Word. Well, you mentioned it while we were watching the junior varsity play, Lori, while setting up for tonight's doubleheader. The emphasis that has been seen at the college level already has trickled down to the high school level, and they've been calling games very close this year at seemingly all levels.
They have, and that could really be an advantage for QND tonight if they'll just continue to penetrate the lane and charge and try to draw those fouls that they hadn't been calling the last couple of years.
Travel whistled against Foley as she broke to the right side baseline. 4-2, Incarnate Word on top. 2 for Bell, 2 for Treese for Incarnate Word, 2 free throws for Hugenberg as the Lady Raiders are being held without a field goal to this point. Home run pass over the top for Incarnate Word, off the fingertips of Treese and out of bounds, and it'll go back to Notre Dame. So you don't have to be big to play defense and create tempo, and that's what the Lady Raiders are starting to do over this last 75 seconds.
Well, that's the one advantage that they'll have in this game is that they know how to press, they know how to defend, they hustle, and they work hard, and that's the one advantage they're going to have in this game.
The Lady Raiders would also like to get some outside shooting going tonight if they can. Baseline pass from Foley back out to Hugenberg. That goes awry. Keating picks it up. Now the dribble drive by Ginnenbacher. She steps on the baseline, but the whistle goes, and she was fouled. Now, that was a late call on the bump. Lady Raiders had the far side corner open and a three that was going to fly from Foley, but no chance as another foul whistled against Incarnate Word. Incarnate Word already 3 fouls here in the first 2.5 minutes of the ball game, so we'll see about this squad's depth and especially the young freshman. We're anticipating seeing Madison Treese at some point this evening to start her high school career. Raiders with it on the far side between the circles for Ginnenbacher. Floats a pass up for Foley. Straight away to Hugenberg. Hugenberg outside. 3 on the way. Raiders miss the 3 from Ginnenbacher. Rebound underneath. Won't go for Keating. And the Raiders miss from long distance their first try here this evening as they try to take the lead. Trailing 4-2. A run out for Incarnate Word, and Collier makes the layup.
Incarnate Word just ran the floor like a college team there. 2 passes and they have a layup. They're very, very skilled in the transition game.
Knocked away on the turnaround from Keating. It goes out of bounds. Adams upset that she couldn't hang on to it. Raiders will have it on the right side baseline. Raiders moving left to right here in the first half. Sean Seacrest, Lori Vogel with you for WTAD. Thank you for spending some of your Thanksgiving Day weekend with us. Deflected inside. Picked up on the rebound by Abby Hoff for Incarnate Word. Hoff just into the game. It is a 6-2 lead for Incarnate Word. A little step back, jump shot, good from Bell, and a timeout for Coach Eric Hard. Bell has 4 to lead the way. The 5'5" senior point guard setting the tempo for Incarnate Word in their 8-2 lead with 4:37 to go in the first quarter as we open the season at the pit. You're listening to Notre Dame basketball on Talk Radio 930 WTAD.
It's Christmas shopping at its best
In
at
the past,
Discount
everyone
Golf
came
World.
Just 30
Home
seconds
dealers
there,
and
Virgil.
R1
Kitchen
drivers
table.
normally $399.95 are now just $199 while they last. A 3-leg set from Tom Watson is just $99, and you'll enjoy savings of up to 50% on all remaining 2013 Golfs used in stock. Shirts, hey, we've got over 500 shirts normally $79.99, now priced at $29.99. We got gift certificates too. Now at Discount Golf World, 2828 Broadway, Quincy, and online at discountgolfworld.com.
He makes
The
house calls.
Raiders play here on Talk Radio 930 WTAD.
4:37 to play, first quarter, 8-2 Incarnate Word over Notre Dame. I'm Sean Seacrest along with Lori Vogel. Coach, you were on the bench 2 years ago for this self-same matchup. Different core of players for Notre Dame then, but that team fell behind early, and Notre Dame is threatening to fall behind big early here. They have possession, down 6 at 8-2. What do you have to do in this situation? Why did Coach Oren stop the game there?
Well, that was a really good timeout, and you have to get stops right now. You can't continue to let Incarnate Word run the floor, and you have to be more creative on offense.
Jump shot for Ginnenbacher won't go. Put back for Hugenberg. Bounces out. Raiders stay after it. Team offensive rebounding, and just stepping on the baseline is Ginnenbacher. The youngest Ginnenbacher we've seen come through the program in the last 6 years. She's got the athleticism of her older sisters.
She does, and so much athleticism that she's going to play volleyball at the University of San Diego. So congratulations to her. Happy for her. She's just a great athlete.
Incarnate Word throws it through the hands of Lacefield and turns it over. Yeah, you forget sometimes that she has really other sports, in this case volleyball, that are kind of her primary. Basketball is her secondary love. And I think she's, fond of her teammates and likes to play and is back out here again. But she will continue her athletic career on the volleyball court, like you mentioned, at San Diego. Steal and a bucket the other way quickly for Collier and Incarnate Word. Collier now with 4 on the night. It's a 10-2 lead for Incarnate Word. Raiders still don't have a field goal. Rebound underneath off the miss by Foley. Whistle blows, jump ball, and it'll stay with Notre Dame. 3:50 to go first quarter, and it is all Incarnate Word early. 10-2. Raiders with just 2 free throws by Hugenberg. On the baseline, Raiders get it to the elbow, and a travel violation whistled against Obert. So the Raiders lose a possession after running a nice break out of the baseline set. Obert couldn't catch it and step cleanly to take the shot. Raiders come in 4-0 on the season. They won the Geneseo tournament. Now a home run pass for Incarnate Word goes nowhere. Stolen by Foley. Chance to go the other way. Her shot from 6 feet is eaten up by Adams, and now she'll go the other way with it. The big post takes it to the far side, finds Bell. Bell steps up, 18-footer, in and out. Rebound by Collier underneath. Collier feeds it down low to Adams. Adams powers her way up. It won't go, but a foul on the arm, and Adams will go to the free throw stripe. Adams, she was just a precocious sophomore 2 years ago who came into the pit with this Incarnate Word squad. Now she goes to the line as a senior. The right-hander knocks the first one down. That's her first points of the game. And it makes it 11-2, Incarnate Word. Coming up at the conclusion of this game, we'll talk it over with head coach Eric Horn. And then we'll get ready for QND men's basketball against Sullivan. It is the opener for both of those programs. Adams goes 2 for 2 from the line, and it's a 12-2 lead for Incarnate Word. 3.5 to play, first quarter. Raiders get it in. Raiders have brought in Marcola off the bench, making their first substitutions. Marcola at the point, and Mackenzie Foley on the far side wing. Lob over the top. Raiders get it underneath. Marcola's fouled. She'll go to the line. And the Raiders, who have scored both their points from the free throw stripe, should have a chance to add on. Now they're going to call the foul on the floor, and so the Raiders will go back to the baseline. 5th foul against Incarnate Word early, so the Raiders could get themselves into the bonus. They stay aggressive on the offensive end. Foley inside, now gets it back on the wing. Drives baseline, drops it off in the lane. Wide open look for Marcola. Doesn't take the shot. Too slow getting the ball up. And now she sets it back outside to Foley. Foley wants to go down the lane to Obert. Obert leaves it wide open for Marcola. In and out. Gets her own rebound. Travels with it. No call. And the block from the top is going to result in a jump ball. This one's going to go to Incarnate Word. Lori, the Raiders just not quick enough to release the shots once they get in the lane.
They're getting the shots and they're acting very, very intimidated, and they're anticipating contact. They need to just go up with the shot. They've got the shot. They see the 6'3" girl in their face, and they're altering their shot, and they're just not taking good shots right now.
Bell to the baseline, throws it back outside for Adams. Adams on the bounce, comes between the circles, left to right, backdoor pass, leaves it on the ground, has to get it back from Lacefield, and Lacefield throws it through the hands of Adams and away into the first row. But it's definitely been a case of opening night jitters for Incarnate Word here in the first 5.5 minutes. You just don't see a team this skilled usually throw away the ball so readily. They've already thrown it away 3 times here in the first 6 minutes of the game without it even being close. Up and under for Gittenbacher, gets her own miss. She's blocked. No call as she hits the deck hard. Now tied up low, and the alternate possession arrow will be back to Notre Dame with 2:25 to play first quarter. 12-2. Incarnate Word off to a fast start at the pit. Raiders go to the baseline with Kristen Gittenbacher on the ball. Out of bounds, looking to get it in. Marcola on the baseline, hands it back to Gittenbacher. Gittenbacher double team now. She'll drive it into the lane. Curls for the right-handed layup, scoops, and it won't go. Gittenbacher goes to the line. She comes in averaging 13 points per game in the first 4 games of the season. And this will be her first chance to put it up. She missed the only 3 the Raiders have taken earlier in the quarter. Now let's see if Ginnenbacher can get going from the line. First free throw rattles home. That breaks a 4-0 scoring streak for Incarnate Word since the timeout, and an 8-0 run for them going back to the free throws made by Hugenberg. Ginnenbacher, second one is pure. 12-4, Raiders trail. Incarnate Word with the ball. Raiders want to press. Full court, man-to-man. Incarnate Word throws it away. Raiders are going to come up with another possession. Glory, the Raiders have generated plenty of possessions, but their points per possession right now are just not good.
No, they're turning the ball over. They're generating possessions. They're doing a nice job on their press, getting on Incarnate Word to turn the ball over, but they're just not turning those into points right now.
Dribble drive baseline for Ginnenbacher. She misses the easy layup. Well, that was a team-wide disease about 2 years ago that went through this program. It seemed like the Lady Raiders shot less than 50% on layups, but they were good the last couple of years. 3 from the outside for Bell. Well, the 5'5" senior point guard didn't waste any time. She had the first open look from beyond the arc for Incarnate Word, and she nailed it.
She is a pure shooter. Iowa State's getting a good one there.
Well, she's quick and will run the show for him, too, at the point. Looking to the outside now, the Raiders working against man-to-man defense from Incarnate Word. Across the court to Foley. Foley looking high for Marcola. Slipping through, high-low, is the younger Foley, McKenzie. And in the lane, the Raiders whistled for a charge as Hugenberg turned right into Adams. That'll be the 3rd foul of the game whistled against the Raiders, and the 2nd on Marybeth Hugenberg. Raiders will send a substitute onto the floor as Quinna Keating will come back into the game. She'll spell Hugenberg, who saddled with 2 fouls with 90 seconds to go in the first quarter. Adams from the baseline forgot that it was awarded on a foul and not after a bucket. You can't run the baseline in that situation, and she did, so that's traveling. Even though the ball's awarded out of bounds, Raiders get the ball back.
And that's first game jitters. They've given us plenty of turnovers. We just need to turn them into points. 3
from the outside, no good for Ginnenbacher. We'll get a whistle on a push on the backside on Adams as she fouled Marcola while gathering up that defensive rebound.
She didn't just foul her, she cleared her all the way out of there.
So Ginnenbacher, the only one who's taken shots from beyond the arc for the Raiders thus far, is 0 for 2 in that department. Incarnate Word 1 for 1 from long distance, and that's part of their 15-4 lead with 1:23 to go in the first quarter. The Lady Raiders alley-oop it into the lane for Foley. Ball is loose. She fights for it, gets it back. Sets it straight away to Foley. That's Cassidy to McKenzie. To the near side, Cassidy Foley on the right wing. Now to Ginnenbacher. Ginnenbacher on the right hand, rolls into the corner. Now going to go down the lane for Mackenzie Foley. Her layup won't go. Collier with the rebound. Home run pass out front on the right hand. Won't go on the running attempt that time by Abby Hoff. And the Raiders have a chance to come back the other way after Incarnate Word misses a transition bucket. 45 seconds to go. Raiders looking to low post. Nothing there. Take it out to the perimeter. Swing it right to left. Raiders on the dribble drive, trying to create that pinch and draw 2 defenders and look for something to develop off of it. Driving the baseline is Ginnenbacher. Nothing there as the defense rotates well. Marcola straight away. Dribbles it over and hands it off to Foley. Now rubbing down the lane, Ginnenbacher sets it back outside. 2 on the way. Won't go from Foley. And the rebound for Incarnate Word with 15 seconds left. Incarnate Word leading 15-4 as it's been a slow offensive start for the Raiders. No one picks up Bell on the back door, and her layup with 8 seconds to go gives her 9 points in the game and makes it a 17-4 lead. That's just a defensive breakdown. Now Collier with the block, and that's how the quarter comes to an end. Collier, the junior who's being recruited by UConn and Notre Dame, comes up with a big block, and after the first 8 minutes, Incarnate Word is on top of Notre Dame 17-4 on Talk Radio 930 WTAD.
That's someone enjoying a wonderful meal at McDonald's.
A foot doctor.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
That's someone enjoying a refreshing Coca-Cola for only $1.
25 years ago, I started out with a business
Yep, that'll be
plan.
great.
And that's the harmonious flavor of McDonald's and any size icy cold Coca-Cola soft drink or sweet tea for just $1.
If I
It's
want
hard to
more money
describe it
than
any
what I
other
was
way.
asking for.
The
That was
simple
start
joy
my
of
relationship. First Bank Trust.
a la carte only.
My
Prices and
dreams come
participation
true.
may vary. Limited
First
time
Bank
offer.
of Trust,
Quincy
your bank
McDonald.
of dreams.
$1.50 gas and double-digit
looking like
pay
tomorrow's
raises
win
are
over
history.
Keokuk will be
Today,
one in a
money is
row.
hard to get and even harder to hold on to.
Well-
That's why a discount double check from Charles Schultz, your local state.
They want to just dribble around, and then they get a wide open look, and then they don't take
They
it.
had 3 shots blocked early, and now they're nervous in the lane.
Yeah.
Or drop by my
Yeah.
office
I
next
mean,
to
you
County
gotta
Market
just-
at 48th and Broadway. And together, we'll review your insurance needs.
The Raiders play here on Talk Radio 930 WTAD.
The second about to unfold on Talk Radio 930. I'm Sean Seacrease along with Raider Hall of Famer Loring Vogel. Travel in the backcourt whistled against Bell, and the Raiders get it back. Bell looks over at her coaching staff like, what did I do? And they said, don't you know? You're the senior. you can't take those extra steps. So first game jitters a bit, even from the #1 ranked team in the nation. Incarnate Word. Collier nearly with the steal as she tried to take it away from Foley on the far side. But you can see just watching tonight, Nafisa Collier, the junior, she has 4 points tonight. She gets it as part of the game. Her defense is tremendous. She rebounds. She starts the break. It's easy to see why she's on a lot of people's radar.
She anticipates so well. She reads the ball so well, and she can just do many, many things.
Collier out to Bell. Bell's 3 is no good. Rebound in the lane is put back up and just bounces out from McNee and will go the other way as the loose ball goes out of bounds. McKenna Treese, excuse me. Just couldn't make that one from right in front of the rim on the putback. He's finishing up the thoughts on Collier. 6'1", runs it, dribbles it, handles it like a point guard, fills the lane on the break. She has been fun to watch just over this first 9 minutes. 17-4, Incarnate Word on top of Notre Dame here at the pit. Raiders into the right side corner. Foley on the drive, draws the defense, hangs and hits. That's the first field goal for the Raiders here tonight. And it comes with 7:10 to go in the first half. Collier down the lane, into the lane, wild shot, no call on the bump down low. Raiders have a chance to run it out the other way. Lady Raiders with the layup from Ginenbacher, and it's 4 in a row. They've cut the deficit to 17-8 with 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Another steal by the Lady Raiders. They want to come down to the near side corner with Obert. Obert and Foley did a nice job of running a little pinch there at the half-court line. Up and under, Raiders get it back off the block shot down low by Collier. Into the lane, nobody picks up a wide-open Foley, and she misses the layup. Now here's the outlet pass, left-handed layup, and it just goes off the side of the rim as Sam Koch just into the game. Couldn't put it away for Incarnate Word. Raiders down the lane, backdoor pass on the diagonal is wide open, but it's off the fingertips of Obert and out of bounds. Too much steam on that pass that time from Ginenbacher as she found Obert on the low post, but threw it right through her hands. Timeout taken by Incarnate Word. 6:20 to go in the first half. Incarnate Word's Lady Red Knights leading the Notre Dame Raiders 17-8 on Talk Radio 930 WTAD.
It's
Just as
thoughtful
though
and
you hear
sensible
Bruce,
to
please.
plan funeral arrangements in advance.
All right. Bell for Incarnate Word with 9. Ginenbacher with 4 for Notre Dame. Bell has it now in the corner. Bell bringing it to the timeline. Incarnate Word going right to left. Notre Dame left to right here in the first half. Man-to-man defense by Notre Dame. Incarnate Word sets it up outside in the hands of Jenny Schneltling. Schneltling takes it down low, hands it off to Treese. She can't make the turnaround. Raiders have a chance to run. They'll kick it back outside and wait. Raiders want to set it up near side with Obert. She just goes ahead and pushes Mackenzie Foley through. Foley now on the far side corner, brings it straight away to her older sister, Cassidy Foley. Talk about multi-sport stars. Cassidy Foley on the soccer pitch is where she does a lot of her great work. They'll be doing that as the ladies have a spring season in Illinois following the conclusion of the women's basketball season. Turnover by the Raiders on a travel call far side, and that'll give Incarnate Word the ball back. Raiders and Red Knights, Lori, have just turned it over so many times here in the first half, and now on the run, not even attempting the layup is Schneltling because she's called for steps.
And I think it's early in the season, and for whatever reason, there's always more travelings called, more double dribbles called earlier in the season. The girls just aren't comfortable yet.
Lady Raiders throw it over the top. High-low opportunity. Jump shot by Obert is blocked. Lady Raiders pick it up down low and stuff it up and in. Sarah Arnold with the putback. She's got two. Raiders get their first points off the bench, and they cut the lead to 17-10. The Raiders are on a 6-0 run to start this second quarter. Bell, too strong off the backboard. Rebound by Treese. She puts it up, can't hit the short shot. Treese is over from less than 2 feet in this game for Incarnate Word. Raiders want to go the other way, poked away from behind by Bell. Into the front court, big pick set up. Now Lacefield down the lane, kicks it back outside. Stop, pivot by Treese. Treese goes to Bell on the far side. Bell sets up the pick from Treese, little pick and roll. Down the lane, Bell the floater to Collier. Her layup is good. That stops the 6-0 run by Notre Dame and makes it 19-10 Incarnate Word. Raiders think about it on the outside, near travel by Arnold. She misses the shot, gets it back underneath. Raiders fight for it on the floor. Jump ball, and this one will go, I believe, to the Lady Raiders. It'll stay with them on the right end of the floor. 4.5 to go in the first half. Incarnate Word traveling from the Gateway City to the Gem City, and they lead Notre Dame 19-10 on Talk Radio 930 WTAD and online at QuincyJournal.com. If you're just joining us and you've got your tablet with you or your smartphone and you'd like to watch tonight's game on television, well, you can check out QuincyJournal.com. Just click the QJTV tab. You'll have the video broadcast and Lori's analysis and my play-by-play all in one neat package. When you're on the go or just at home relaxing, you want to catch great local sports action, television style, it's QuincyJournal.com. 4:15 to go first half. Lady Raiders trailing by 9, 19-10 with possession right end of the floor. Scrum underneath. Adams comes away with it for Incarnate Word. Hands it off to Bell. Bell waits for help, and she'll now bring it across the timeline as the Lady Raiders pick up man-to-man in the half court against the number 1 ranked team in the nation. Incarnate Word Academy out of St. Louis. Turnaround, no good for Adams. She had the hook as she completely sealed off her defender, Marcola, and still couldn't make the layup. Lady Raiders in transition, get it down low. Gittenbacher wants to kick it back outside to Foley. Foley now on the near side. Foley wants to roll it over. She has Gittenbacher. Gittenbacher thinks about the three instead. She'll give it up. She gives it to Humphrey. Humphrey on the turnaround. Stops down the lane, and a timeout called by Coach Orn. Coach Horn is getting irate here early because of the offensive issues that have plagued this Notre Dame team here in their home opener. We'll keep this one here for you at the pit. 19-10, Notre Dame trailing Incarnate Word. Lori, you were mentioning just a little bit of it earlier, but now I think Coach Horn has called a timeout to talk about what you referenced a moment ago, and that is that the Raiders' spacing and pace hasn't been good on the offensive end.
No, they've kind of played into Incarnate Word's defense, and their spacing is too close. They're not spreading the floor. They're doing too much dribbling. The quickest way to beat a defense is to pass the ball, and they're spending too much time dribbling the ball. They're also not getting open for a perimeter shot. Having said that, when they do get the 1 or 2 times that they're open for the perimeter shot, they hesitate and they don't take it. So when you're behind like this, you can't waste that much time off the clock. If you've got the wide open 28-footer, take it. You know, and they're just not doing that right now.
Raiders get it to Humphreys just into the game at the point. On the crossover between the circles, she goes down the right side, tests it and pulls it back. Gets it into the hands of Obert. Obert all alone from 8 feet, has it knocked out of her hands, follows her loose ball, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Adams of Incarnate Word, and the Raiders get the ball back. Bell will come out, and Lacefield back into the ball game for Incarnate Word. 3 minutes to go, first half. Notre Dame trailing 19-10. A lower scoring affair than I was thinking about. Raiders bring it in. Gittenbacher just throws it off the back of an unsuspecting defender and gets it back. Raiders get it into the hands of Arnold. Arnold dribble drives, draws 2 into the corner. Now comes straight away for Humphreys. Humphreys near side to Obert. Obert dribbles into the double team. Raiders don't have good spacing going right now. They're making passes to each other from 2 feet away. And now Humphreys pass to the low post for Obert is out of bounds. So possessions have just slipped away from the Raiders on the offensive end throughout this first half. 2:50 to go. Raiders still trailing 19-10. Raiders have outscored Incarnate Word 6-2 in this second quarter, but neither team has found any offense as Collier's whistled for traveling with the outlet pass. Incarnate Word almost feels like a soccer match where Notre Dame has dominated time of possession of the ball. We've played in Incarnate's Word end of the floor the whole time, but the Raiders haven't been able to make much out of it. Now Incarnate Word wants to run and jump and try and trap on the press, and the Raiders throw it away.
I feel like you should push a tape recorder right now, and the Raiders throw it away.
Well, they haven't been good with the basketball thus far. Raiders want to try to up the tempo on the defensive end themselves. They come out, three-quarter court, pick up, and Incarnate Word brings it into the front court with Lacefield. Lacefield pass to the wing is stolen. Raiders have a 2-on-1 developing. Obert wants to come down the near side. She throws it to Gittenbacher. Gittenbacher can't do much with it as Obert threw it into her shoes. And that didn't give her the chance to go up with it. That was Sarah Arnold, excuse me, in transition. Obert, Arnold, Hugenberg, Gittenbacher, and Foley, the 5 on the floor for Notre Dame. Treese back into the game for Incarnate Word. She'll sub for Adams. Collier with it on the near side. You're not going to be able to trap her with one person. She gets it on the wing to her teammate Bell. Check it easily, and Easley travels with it. So the Raiders with 2 points off their bench by Arnold had held Incarnate's Word bench scoreless, but they still trail 19-10 with 2:10 to go in this first half. Incarnate Word trying to trap. Gittenbacher stops in the wrong spot just across the lane, gets away with it. Into the corner, Hugenberg's long 2 is no good. Rebound by Collier. Collier starts the break on the far side. Incarnate Word thinking about slowing it down. Lacefield across the timeline, gets the pick from Treese. Little pick and roll. Treese on the stop. They're going to call Treese for the travel. I think we're starting to see things that aren't necessarily there if we're wearing striped shirts tonight. I'm not saying there weren't travels early. There were, but it's human nature to start anticipating after you see a few things.
It is, and I think along with the extra fouls that they're calling this year, it seems like they've added traveling into that as well. I mean, a lot of these have been travels, but the last 2 or 3, I don't really see what they've done there.
It's a point of emphasis is what they call it, and it has been emphasized here in the first half. Into the low post, turn around for Treese, won't go. Treese still over from inside of a foot, working down around the bucket, and that won't last. Now she's called for the offensive foul on the rebound, and the Raiders are going to have an opportunity to go the other way.
Well, the fact that Treese has been so off this game is really the only reason that the Lady Raiders are in this ball game. If she makes half of the shot that she's missed, we're down by 20 right now.
That's also a 3rd foul on Treese, so she's done for the next 95 seconds here in the first half. Lady Raiders with the substitution. Hugenberg will come in. And they'll send Kennedy McGee to the bench. First is good from Hugenberg. All 3 of her points have come from the free throw stripe. Well, so few points being scored in this quarter. Lady Raiders really like to take advantage, close it out strong. Hugenberg makes them both. She has 4, and it's a 19-12 lead for Incarnate Word. Minute 35 to go. First half here at the Pit. Pit, it's what, about 85% full, Lori?
It is. It's a very nice crowd tonight.
Collier on the run gets hit from behind, misses the layup, and she'll go to the line for two. Obert just got her right across the back and left arm as she cruised in for the transition bucket. Yeah, we're talking about the extra emphasis on all of the physical fouls this year, plus the emphasis tonight seemingly on the travel call. And the game has even less flow than what you'd normally get in an early part of the season game. Very choppy, and that's one of the reasons the scoring's been down.
Right. It's hard to get in a rhythm when the game is constantly being stopped for a foul or a travel. There's just no rhythm to this game whatsoever.
Collier misses the first one. Now the next. Fouled on the transition layup. Collier hits the second. She's got 7. That makes her the second leading scorer to her teammate Bell with 9. 30 seconds, a minute 30 to go rather. Raiders on the run. Outside, long two coming up for the Raiders. Won't go for Foley. And a chance for Bell to start a break the other way. 3-on-2 developing. Alley-oop to the low post for Collier. Knocked away by the Raiders. And it'll stay with Incarnate Word on the left end of the floor. It was an 8-2 run to open the game for Incarnate Word. The Raiders have hung right with them since then, but the fast start has been the pad in this game that has kept the Red Knights away from the Raiders. Bell steps back for 3, won't go. Long rebound, no one checks out for the Raiders, and it's picked up easily by Incarnate Word. Incarnate Word with the travel as Abby Hoff just couldn't put the wheels on the ground before she took off. 66 seconds to go first half, 20-12. Incarnate Word on top. Raiders can't get it in. 5-second violation. Cassidy Foley was in front of her own bench out of bounds, and no one came back to help her.
No, they didn't. No, they just left her out to dry. And if there's one thing that infuriates a coach, and nothing more than getting a 5-second call, that means you did not help your teammate.
Easley takes it in now to Lacefield. Lacefield to the far side where she picks up Easley again. Easley on the curl, and it's going to be a moving screen whistled against Collier.
Yes.
And that is going to be a tough foul to assign to Collier, her second. She's played very well here in the first half. 60 seconds to go first half. Sean Secrace, Lori Vogel on the call for WTAD. Raiders trailing by 8, 20-12. And a press now for Incarnate Word. Raiders break it with a quick give and go. Get it to the low post. Intercepted by Collier. She wants to take it the whole way. Instead, it's a foul whistled against Foley. And Foley has to be careful now because that was close to being an intentional foul, as she was the only defender really around Collier as Collier had a chance to go the distance.
Yes, and sometimes at that point you just let them go. You let them go and you make that up somewhere else. Steal the ball later, score a basket later, but let them go and don't get a foul there.
Raiders now have been whistled for 5 team fouls. They're not putting Incarnate Word in the bonus just yet. Incarnate Word has put Notre Dame in the bonus with 35 seconds to go. Can the Raiders get possession back and take advantage? Near side corner, and stepping on the baseline is Easley. That'll go back to the Raiders. 20-12, Incarnate Word on top. 30 seconds now to play here in this first half. We'll talk about what we've seen both from the 4-0 Raiders and from the number 1 ranked Red Knights coming up here at the half. Raiders try a 3-quarter court pass, intercepted by Collier. She stops, pops from 6, misses wildly. Raiders have the rebound chance to run it out. 5 from behind, and that'll put them at the line for a 1-and-1 thanks to the bonus. Foley will be on the strike with the Raiders down 20-12. QND winning the Geneseo tournament. They haven't played since then, Lori. And now taking on Incarnate Word here this evening. They had some season opening jitters themselves going to overtime against Anawan, winning that one by 4, 66-62. Free throw is good from Foley. Raiders cut it to 20-13. Raiders looking for another. Foley's free throw is good, and the Raiders have now outscored Incarnate Word 10-3 here in the second quarter, but still trail 20-14. Bell with it in her hands. 10 seconds, now 8. Gets a pick, rolls from left to right, down the lane, blocked from behind by Ginenbacher. Raiders aren't going to have a chance to get anything out of it. It goes out of bounds with a second to go. Foley lost track of where her teammate was. In this case, her sister Mackenzie Foley on her left. And it's going to give another opportunity to Incarnate Word. Now the officials award the ball to Notre Dame, saying Incarnate Word touched it last. Raiders have it. Ginenbacher heaves it and just misses the hoop. So nearly a miracle finish to the first half for Notre Dame, but it's not to be. After the first 16 minutes of play, the Raiders trail Incarnate Word 20-14. We're at the half at the pit, and on QuincyJournal.com, we'll have our halftime show coming up next on AM 930 WTAD.
Natalie Stratton of Advanced Physical Therapy talks from the heart about building relationships with her patients.
We do develop relationships with people, and by doing that, they can trust you because they build that rapport with you so they can trust you, and they start to tell you more, and so you learn more about their medical condition or just their life condition, and so it does allow you to, direct them in different ways. You're seeing some people 2 or 3 times a week.
A loved one passes on, and for a moment, time seems to stand still.
My husband was my whole world. We spent so much time together.
Making funeral arrangements is never easy. We can help you create a ceremony with sensitivity, compassion, and respect. Hanson Spear Funeral Home, celebrating a life well lived.
The second half just underway from the pit on Talk Radio 930 WTAD. Sean Seacrease and Raider Hall of Famer Lori Vogel. Thanks for joining us as part of your Thanksgiving weekend. Always a great weekend to start basketball, especially in communities like this. You have players who have gone away to college can come back and be here at the opening games, and we certainly see that here tonight. Long three is no good, and the Raiders miss an opportunity to get on the board early in the third quarter. No scoring as we open this third quarter thus far. Still Incarnate Word on top of Notre Dame, 20-14. Laura, you were flinching a couple of times as the Raiders passed up shots during that sequence.
Well, they're just so wide open, and they pass them up, and they're waiting for something better, and there's not going to be something better than a wide open 18-footer. Just take it and hope somebody rebounds if you miss it.
Raiders get that first rebound, and stepping on the baseline is Foley, giving it right back to Incarnate Word. And that's just a case of her losing her footing and losing her awareness right underneath the basket. Raiders have to defend now on this baseline out of bounds. They'll go man-to-man. Incarnate Word gets it into Collier. Collier to Adams. And Adams over to Bell. Bell on the left side. Dribble drive baseline. She's cut off by the good defense of Foley. Bell with it. Nearly a 5-second call out front. Steal by Hugenberg. She takes it from Treese and lays it up and in.
And that's just what's going to get the Lady Raiders back in this game is good defense, defending the ball, denying one pass away. Mary Beth Hugenberg just played that to perfection. She died in one pass away, stuck out the right hand, stole it, and took it in for a left-handed layup.
Raiders trail by 4 now, 20-14. Low post entry to Adams. She kicks it outside to Lacefield. Her three is no good. The Lady Raiders fight for the rebound underneath with Hugenberg. It goes out of bounds off of Treese. And the Raiders will have another possession. There is a strobe light in the far side corner. That'd be the southwest corner, rather, of the pit, that is going off at intermittent frequencies. And it's really started to mess with a couple of people here on the floor and in the stands. The officials have huddled and decided that the infraction on the last play was out of bounds off the Lady Raiders. So Incarnate Word will get the ball back. Incarnate Word moving left to right. Raiders right to left here in the second half. Incarnate Word gets it into Bell. Bell steps back for a three. She's fouled. She'll go to the line for three off the push from Foley. And a 20-16 lead for Incarnate Word is going to have a chance to expand from the charity stripe. Bell, 5', 5" senior point guard. She is committed to the Iowa State Cyclones. Her first free throw is good. It was only 3 points since the first quarter for Incarnate Word. That's just point number 4. Bell's next one is no good, and it was just a two-shot foul. Lady Raiders leak out up front. Layup in transition for Foley is good. Lady Raiders have cut it to 3, 21-18. Bell on the far side. Crossover move. Goes to the baseline. Throws it back to the free throw stripe. Travel on Adams. And the Raiders have it back again. The Lady Raiders, Lori, starting to build some momentum here in the second half.
Well, and their best offense is their defense. And when they play defense well and they steal the ball and they get that wide open transition, it's just one effect after another. And that's really what they're all about.
Lady Raiders. Obert trying to get rid of it, doing a lot of dribbling, takes it to the far side, now back between the circles for Foley. Near side, Lady Raiders are 4 out, go underneath. Hugenberg sneaks behind the defensive end, lays it up and in, and we got a 1-point game. Timeout taken by Incarnate Word. We'll step aside as well. The Lady Raiders have come out hot. They have scored the first 6 points of this second half, interrupted only by a free throw from Incarnate Word, and they've cut the lead to 21-20. Here on Talk Radio 930 WTAD.
It's Christmas shopping at its best at
Yeah,
Discount
Sean, we better
Gold
make the change
Give Papa
between
a
quarters.
brand new bag this year. The tailor-made R1
Okay,
stand
that's fine.
bag, normally $199, is now just $88. Titleist Pro V's are available for $39.99 a dozen, and
want
we
a
have
30
over
here or a
500 shirts, normally
just a 30 here.
$79.99, priced at
All right.
$29.99. Gift certificates, we've got those too. Now at Discount Gold.
In the first 2 minutes and 15 seconds of this third quarter. Lori, they've nearly come all the way back from being down 17-4 after the opening quarter, trailing now by 1, 21-20.
Well, Incarnate Word, this is their first game. They're not really in game shape. They're kind of making some miscues on defense, forgetting where people are. QND, while they're not very big, they are quick, and they have labored the Red Knights here this evening. They could be getting tired already.
Bell brings it into the front court. 5:40 to go, third quarter. Notre Dame looking for a defensive stop. If they can take the lead, it would be their first of the night. Alley-oop on the inside to Collier. She takes it away from the defensive Obert and lays it in.
And that Bell to Collier sequence there, I think we're going to see a lot more in the third and fourth quarter. They're the kind of players that don't really play unless they have to, and they're seeing that this game's a little bit too close, and they're going to take it in their own hands probably.
Lady Raiders now looking at a sagging man-to-man from Incarnate Word. 3 out of the corner is no good. That time Foley misses. The Raiders are yet to hit a 3 here this evening, 0 for 5. Bell into the front court, far side for Lacefield. Lacefield on the right-handed dribble, bounces it out of the corner, back toward midcourt. Defended man-to-man by Gittenbacher. Gittenbacher falls down. That gives Treese a chance to handle it on the outside. Her handoff to Collier, sprints down the lane and lays it up and in. Well, Collier, she just split the defense with ease. 25-20 as Incarnate Word starts to build their lead, and the Lady Raiders throw it away off the hands of Hugenberg. 25-20. The lead was down to 1, but 4 points in a row by Collier. They'd suddenly, Incarnate Word looking strong again on the offensive end. 4:30 to go, third quarter. Opening night for Incarnate Word and the home opener for the Lady Raiders. Alley-oop backdoor for Collier. Collier gets hit, and it'll be a foul against Notre Dame, their second of the second half. No fouls yet against Incarnate Word. Lady Raiders did get to work themselves into a bonus situation in the first half. Incarnate Word seems to have tamped down on some of the easy fouls they gave away during the chance to regroup at half. Inside to Collier, turnaround underneath. Layup is too short. Rebound by Treese in the lane. She kicks it out to Bell. Over the top alley-oop to Collier, and Bell threw that one away. Collier 6'1", wingspan probably 6'3", and she had no chance to catch that ball.
Well, Incarnate Word has one target right now, and it's Collier. Everybody is looking for her right now. She is definitely their go-to person in this second half.
Lady Raiders to Hugenberg. Her baseline jump shot is no good. Gets her own rebound and kicks it outside to Foley. 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Lady Raiders down 25-20. They've won 57 in a row. That winning streak started after a loss to Incarnate Word 2 years ago. Inside bounce pass is kicked, no whistle. Adams has it. She'll give it up to Lacefield. Lacefield on the right side. Crossover dribble. She wants to go to the baseline. Her layup is good. Lacefield, no points in the first half. Her first bucket of the game makes it 27-20. And it's a 6-0 run for Incarnate Word. Raiders at the free throw line. Now another pass leaves Hugenberg wide open. You can see why she's averaging 13 a game as she drops it in from 12 feet. Hugenberg's got 8. And the Lady Raider defense gets back, knocks it away from Priest, and it'll be another possession for QND. Now the Raiders, the ball on the baseline, trailing by 5. 27-22, get it into the corner, near side. Raiders have to hand it off to Ginnenbacher, as it was already a dribble used by Obert. Ginnenbacher down the lane, off the glass, and good for 2. Now that's being aware of your court situation, because she stopped at the 6-foot mark rather than taking it all the way into Adams.
Well, then nobody ever picked her up, so she just stopped and popped a little jump shot, and that's great court awareness.
Ginnenbacher's first 2 of the second half. Collier between the circles now, right end for Incarnate Word. Kicks it back outside. Lacefield for 3, won't go. Rebound underneath, push from behind. He's going to be whistled against Hoff, and we're going to stay with Notre Dame possession. So Bell and Lacefield have tried from distance here in the second half for Incarnate Word. Can't get it to go. And the Raiders bringing it in against full court man-to-man pressure. 2:40 to go. Raiders go diagonal pass, wide open under the bucket on the near side. Raiders stop, get it to the elbow for a jumper. Arnold loses possession of the ball, and on a jump ball, it'll be awarded to Incarnate Word on the alternate possession arrow. Arnold just lost possession of the ball all alone on the left elbow. I don't know if she was trying to bring it up for a shot, but she was suddenly wide open and then on the floor scrambling for it with Adams. 27-24, Notre Dame trailing. Collier down the lane. Fouled as she goes, no call. Lady Raiders a chance to run a 2-on-1. Bounce pass into the front court. Adams with the block shot. I thought she got it clean up top, but she may have hit Ginnenbacher with the body down low. And that's going to send Ginnenbacher to the line and a chance to make it a 1-point game. 27-24, Incarnate Word on top. Lady Raiders trying to come from behind here at the pit for their home opener. One of 4 or 5 big showcase games they have on the schedule this year. This one with Incarnate Word pits 2 defending state champions against each other and 2 number 1 ranked teams. Ginnenbacher leaves the first free throw short. And now the next. Her second one is good. She didn't over-adjust and go too strong, showing some savvy from the free throw strike. She has 7 now and leads all Raiders in the scoring department, not named Mary Beth Hugenberg. The Raiders' only post, Hugenberg, has 8 to lead all Raider scorers in the game. Now those have been the 2 leading scorers for the team thus far this season, each averaging 13 a game. They'll need to get hot here late. Incarnate Word on the break. The layup is good by Bell. Great pass from Collier. 29-25, Raiders trail with possession on the left end of the floor. On the crossover now. Stolen by Collier. She's going to go the distance. Raiders will have to foul her if they want to. They don't. Collier's layup is good. Lori, suddenly we've seen the junior Collier start to take over.
She has. She's totally taken over this whole entire quarter, not only on the offensive end, but the defensive end as well.
Raiders down the lane, kick it out to the right side corner, looking for 3. Penetrate and kick again, but no one's willing to take the shot on the kick-out pass. Down the lane to the baseline now. The layup is no good for Keating, but she gets fouled by Adams and will go to the line. Raiders trailing 31-25. Minute 30 to go, third quarter. Following this game, it'll be the QND men to take on Sullivan. The junior varsity Raiders won against Sullivan right before this game got started. Coach Bob Sheffield makes his debut as the Raiders bench boss. We'll have it for you about 15 minutes after the conclusion of this one. We'll also be talking it over with Lady Raider head coach Eric Horn following this match. And then you get to go to work tomorrow night. Keating makes the first free throw. We'll talk more about that. We'll talk more about it as we go along here. Second free throw is good by Keating. Her first 2 points of the night. Tomorrow night, if you're looking for something to do and you love both the present and the past, it's Hall of Fame night here at the Pit.
It is. That's always an exciting night.
And you're on the Hall of Fame committee, so you'll be working it tomorrow night. Collier misses the free throw, reaches in, knocks it away. Now we're going to have, one official called a tip and a push. Let's see what the situation is here. It is going to be a foul whistled against Lacefield. So the Raiders will get it back. He motioned the wrong way for possession after the call. Raiders have a 2-on-1 on a nifty break. Stop, go to the baseline. Hugenberg's layup is no good. Gets her own miss, puts it up no good, stays after it, tips it out of bounds, and it's going to go to Incarnate Word. Well, Incarnate Word continues to lead this game, now 31-27, and getting near nothing from Treese, as she has been 0 for 6 from less than a foot away from the bucket tonight. And now a near travel that doesn't get called. On the other end, it's Incarnate Word, and travels have been called all night, and then Lacefield wasn't called when she took a walk right in front of the official scorer's table. And now over the end line, it'll be to Notre Dame. But I think
they called a foul on Treese. That's her fourth foul.
Raiders go for a pass on the near side, fall on it. It's going to be a kick ball by Ginnenbacher and awarded to Incarnate Word. I think someone has installed remote flash cameras here, and they're setting them off remotely because
there it went again.
I feel like I'm in some kind of Pavlovian test group here. 60 seconds to go. Raiders with the steal on the inbounds pass. And that is on the floor, and a foul is going to be called now against, is that against QND or Incarnate Word? We had no motion on who it was against.
They called it against Collier.
Yeah, it's Collier.
That's their third.
That is the late award there to the Lady Raiders on the baseline. The officials are waiting so long to tell the players which way it's going that no one can get a fast break started.
No, they can't even do it as fast as they want to. You got to stand there and wait.
31-27, Incarnate Word leading Notre Dame. Now 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Raiders curl off the far side down toward the bucket. It's a double team on the defense by Incarnate Word. Adams with the steal. Adams looking for help, finds Bell on the far side. The senior point guard, Nakia Bell. She is pledged to Iowa State for next season. She goes to the left side, looks for help. Schnetling to the near side for Bell now. 15 seconds. Into the low post for Collier. She goes up, turns around, and it's good. Well, Collier, she was just set up about a foot from the bucket, and she was going to be hard-pressed to miss from there. Long shot by Notre Dame. No good, and it's out of bounds. It'll stay with the Raiders as Incarnate Word couldn't keep the handle off that long rebound. So QND down by 6. 2.5 seconds to go here in the third quarter. A 57-game winning streak for the program on the line here this evening in their 2013 home opener. 2.4 on the clock. Time to catch and release. They'll go alley-oop, push it back underneath. Ginnenbacher, turn around, blocked by Collier, and time runs out. Collier just showed you what an exceptional athlete she is by pivoting, anticipating the play, and getting the block on the tip to the inbounder. What a play by the young lady, and two great teams going at it here tonight. We have a 6-point game heading to the fourth quarter. Incarnate Word over Notre Dame, 33-27 on WTAD.
What's a podiatrist? A foot doctor. A foot doctor? I didn't know there was such a thing. There is. 25 years ago, I started out with a business plan and a dream. I went to 3 area banks. The First Bankers Trust said it was great, and they asked me if I wanted more money than what I was asking for. But that was the start of my relationship with First Bankers Trust. my dreams have come true.
First Bankers Trust, your bank of dreams.
Yep, I see it coming in.
Ooh, did he just get teed up?
Did he? Yep.
XLS Black Friday
Okay,
sale price.
I can hear the commercial in my ear, Bruce.
Rebates and cash, total savings of over $2,300.
Yep, I'll talk to you on the
Enter
mic.
Black Friday shopping this year with one big doorbuster deal on a
All right,
Chevy
can you hear me
car.
okay?
It's just
Yep,
what you'd
I got
expect
you loud
from
and clear.
dealers Like Sean Kirk Chevrolet and
Okay,
Quincy
you got
and Sean
about
Kirk Ford Madison, helping you
4
find
seconds
new
or
roads.
so.
The Raiders
That's
play
fine.
here on Talk Radio 930 WTAD.
Out of the timeout between quarters, Incarnate Word's bench received a technical. At the free throw line is Cassidy Foley, one of the seniors for Notre Dame, and a usually sharp free throw shooter goes 0 for 2. So, Lori, the Raiders miss a golden opportunity to put some free points on the board after a technical assessed to Incarnate Word's bench.
They did. They missed a huge opportunity there, not only to score points, but to score points without the time going.
Raiders at the front, looking for opportunities to go the other way quickly out of their defense. Now some confusion. A whistle called, and that is going to be a foul against Lacefield. For Lacefield, it'll be her second. And the team fouls now piling up for Incarnate Word. They didn't receive a foul whistle for the first 5 minutes of the second half. Raiders miss again from the free throw stripe, this time on the front end of the 1-and-1. So 0 for 3, and it really takes an opportunity for as many as 4 points away. They trail in this game by 6, 33-27. Down the lane is Collier, and she scores again. Collier's now the leading scorer in the game. Lori, she's got 17 all of a sudden.
Yes, and she's really just put this team on her back, and she's wanting the ball. You can see it in her eyes. She wants the ball every time Bell comes down with it, and Bell's giving it to her.
Timeout called on the floor. We'll take it along with them. Notre Dame trailing Incarnate Word 35-27 on Talk Radio 930 WTAD.
You just can't pass up the newest tasty treat from Burger King.
Bruce, I just took that real quick to make sure everything sounds okay.
Juicy boneless rib patty, freshly cut onions, crisp pickles, a sweet and spicy barbecue sauce, served up on a warm toasted sesame bun. The barbecue rib sandwich is a two-handed meal all the way.
Coming back to you after
put both
this
hands on the wheel.
That'll be fine.
Thank you. Up a bag of barbecue rib sandwiches for Burger King in Keokuk, Macomb, Fort Madison, and 2 locations in Quincy.
The Raiders play here on Talk Radio 930 WTAD.
Sean Sechrist and Raider Hall of Famer Lori Vogel this evening as we have a doubleheader on Talk Radio 930 WTAD. The Lady Raiders with their home opener And the Raider men with their season opener tonight. Lady Raiders in the lane. Hugenberg goes up. She's blocked by Adams. Jump ball called. It'll stay with the Lady Raiders, but they use up their possession arrow, as it were, in a game in which they trail by 8, 35-27. Raiders missed a golden opportunity to score 4 easy points to start this quarter. And they've fallen behind by 7. Or rather by 8. They were behind 6, 33-27 to start this fourth quarter. Foley missed 2 free throws on a technical ascent to the Incarnate Word bench. And then there was the miss on the front end of the 1-and-1. Raiders have it taken away from them by Incarnate Word on the near side. Lacefield starts the transition, stops now. She's in the right side corner. Between the circles, they go for Treese. Treese down low, and Adams turns around and puts it in. Little high-low pass as the posts connect.
Well, and Adams just got Obert right on her hip, and it was just all over at that point. She's probably got 30 pounds on her. And QND right now, especially on offense, they need to stop passing the ball 8 times and then throwing it away. They're taking up way too much time down by as many points as they're down by. They need to make 1 or 2 passes and put a shot up.
Adams gets the and one, makes it a 3-point play, and suddenly the Raiders trail by 11, 38-27. The Raiders have never led in this one. They were within 1 at 21-20, but they could never turn the corner and get out in front, putting the pressure on this Incarnate Word team on the road here at the pit. 5:50 to go in the ball game. Lady Raiders trailing 38-27 on the left end of the floor. Take it away on the inside by Treese on the pass from Hugenberg. The pass out front to Adams in transition. Her layup no good. Collier there to clean it up, and she makes it a 3-point play. The Lady Raiders don't have some magic to uncork in the last 5.5 minutes. This could be the end of the 57-game win streak. Free throw is no good from Collier. Rebound by Ginenbacher. Raiders into the front court. Alley-oop into the far side corner. Baseline run, kick it out, go around the perimeter, all the way back to Hugenberg. Now a quick long 2 on the way. That was just shoved up by Obert, not a real shot. That was just a poor decision that time. And the Raiders have to battle for it on the ground, can't come away with it. And a foul against Notre Dame is going to give it to Incarnate Word. And a timeout taken on the floor. 5:18 to play. Incarnate Word.
Passes, and then they're rushing it. You know, if you want to rush it, I mean, it's not a good idea, but rush it off of 1 and 2 passes and hope that you get a shot at a rebound. They're wasting too much on the clock.
Lady Raiders have been shut out for the first 2:52 of this fourth quarter. The margin to overcome has gone from 6 to now 13. Incarnate Word going to go for the home run. Adams to Collier, 1 dribble. She lays it up and in. Takes the bump on the backside from Obert, who raises her palms to the sky saying, there's nothing I can do. Well, in that situation, what you don't do is complicate the situation by giving the foul.
Yes, you don't. You just let them score the basket. Don't turn it into a 3-point play. But also, when you're down by this many points, what you don't want to do is get burned off of the press. They just broke the cardinal rule right there. Never, ever, ever let the person get behind you on the press.
Collier's free throw is good. Collier has put on a show here in the second half. She has 15, and it's a 43-27 lead for Incarnate Word. She has 15 of the 23 for I-Word. Into the baseline now, left to right go the Raiders. Out of bounds, off the shoe of Collier. Defense has been everywhere also. She's routinely drawing tough assignments to guard from QND, whether it's Ginenbacher or Hugenberg. But the fun matchup, at least early in this game, was at the point. Turnaround 3 is good. First 3 of the game, and it goes from Ginenbacher. Raiders had been 0 for 6 from behind the arc before that one went. Now in the corner to Bell for Incarnate Word. To the baseline, she kicks it back outside for Lacefield. No reason for Incarnate Word to hurry. This team shows they've been well schooled as they look for the pass inside. Clear out, foul whistled against Adams. High-low entry pass went traced to Adams, and Adams just used her left arm to bulldoze the defender out of her way before taking it to the rack. So wipe off the points, give the ball back to the Raiders. That three by Ginnenbacher interrupts a 9-0 run this quarter for Incarnate Word. Timeout taken on the floor. Raiders have the ball. They trail at 43-30 with 4:20 to go. You're listening to Raider Basketball on Talk Radio 930 WTAD.
Natalie Stratton of Advanced Physical Therapy talks from the heart about building relationships with her patients.
We do develop relationships with people, and by doing that, they can trust.
In the past, everyone came to you and you did business at your own kitchen table.
This is Financial Services Representative Michael Libman with MetLife in Quincy. I still make house calls. I'll confidentially ask you questions to help you make decisions about your life insurance, IRAs, long-term care insurance, investing and estate planning. Call me and I'll come sit with you at your kitchen table.
MetLife offers financial services and life insurance. Call Michael Libman. He makes house calls.
More happiness to love. A la carte only. Prices and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
McDonald's of Quincy. The Raiders play here on Talk Radio 930 WTAD.
Out of the timeout, Raiders miss a 6-footer from Hugenberg, and she gets a deflection on a pass intended to start the fast break. So good defense in transition from Mary Beth Hugenberg. She has 8 points tonight for the Raiders, their second leading scorer. She came in averaging 13 on the season. Incarnate Word holding on to a 43-30 lead here in their season opener at the Pit, the home opener for the Lady Raiders after they won the Geneseo tournament to start the season. Layup is no good for Treese. She was fouled and will go to the free throw line. Treese just 2 points, and they came early in this ball game. She has been an absolute powerhouse on the inside, but her shots haven't fallen. We mentioned she's 0 for 6, 0 for 7 from less than a foot away, and that's really one of the things that helped keep Notre Dame in this game. Here, Treese hits the free throw.
If she'd have been on in the first half, we wouldn't even have been close. You can tell she's a real nice player. She just struggled tonight.
Second free throw is no good for Treese. McKenna Treese, she's a senior. 6'3". She's going to serve them well as they look to defend their 4A title in the state of Missouri this year. Incarnate Word, you can see them atop the Max Preps national poll. That's right, #1 in the nation. The Lady Raiders get it to Hugenberg. 16-footer on the baseline is no good. Weak side rebound, Foley. Her layup no good. Out of bounds. Last touched by Incarnate Word. And it'll stay with Notre Dame on the left end. 3:30 to go in the ball game. Over the top, the entry pass. Hugenberg. Pass into the feet of Foley. She gets to it. Beats Collier. Now has an opportunity for a weak side jumper. Won't go. Out of the hands of Foley, and a foul in transition. 2 Foleys on the floor. This has happened recently. Not Shannon and Cassidy. This time Cassidy's the older sister with Mackenzie. To the free throw line goes Collier. If you're going to foul somebody in transition, don't foul the person who's on a heat check right now.
Yeah, she's been on fire.
Raiders have just committed their 8th foul. Both teams are in the bonus. First free throw, no good for Collier. 43-30 for Notre Dame. Raiders. They get 44-30. I missed the free throw from Trace a second ago. Raiders trailing big with 3 minutes to go. Another 3 from outside for #3, and Kristen Ginnenbacher comes up empty this time. Weak side rebound. Foley won't go. Ball loose in the lane. Putback won't go. 0 for 4 on this trip, and Trace finally clears everyone out down low. Bell, the senior, just walks it up the floor, knows that she's milking a 14-point lead with 2.5 to play on the road in a hostile environment. Adams down low. Her turnaround finger roll is good. Well, she's really the difference maker for this Incarnate Word team in my mind. Adams comes out, doesn't get into foul trouble like she did early, and plays a power game down low. It just complements everything else they have, all the weapons that they have.
Well, she really knows her role, and she knew that Treese was struggling, and so she took the ball to the basket a little bit more, but she's a player who knows her role, and she knows what she's supposed to do.
Raiders with just 3 points here in the fourth quarter, resembling that four-point quarter, the first quarter of the game. Up and under, rolls out on Ginnenbacher. Rebound by Treese. Treese gets it to Lacefield's going to walk it up as well. Lady Raiders were held to just 4 points on 4 free throws in the first quarter tonight. They're being held to 3 points on the 3 by Ginnenbacher here in the fourth. Under 2 minutes to play now. Incarnate Word about to snap the Raiders' franchise 57-game win streak. Collier down the lane, kicks it out to Bell in the corner. Bell guarded by Foley. Bell puts it on the deck and drives, looks for help, gets it from Treese. Treese rumbles into the lane, can't get it to go, gets her own rebound and puts it up and in. Treese has 5 on the night, and it's 48-30. All Incarnate Word as they put together blockbuster first and fourth quarters here this evening. Coach Orn wants a timeout. Looks like he's going to bring in numerous reserves with 1:20 to go. We'll take it as well. 1:21 to play on the home opener for the Lady Raiders. They trail Incarnate Word 48-30 on WTAD.
A loved one passes on, and for a moment, time seems to stand still.
My husband was my whole world. We spent so much time together.
Making funeral arrangements is never easy. We can help you create a ceremony with sensitivity, compassion, and respect. Hanson Spear Funeral Home, celebrating a life well lived.
Right here on Talk Radio 930, WTAD. Raiders with Humphreys into the game now. She gets a pick on the roll on the near side, and the Raiders are going to empty the bench a bit. Alex Wilkins into the game with Humphreys. They're also going to bring in Shelby Ulrich, Hannah Marcola, and see if we can spot the 5 that have come in for Notre Dame. Marcola working on the backside. She's trying to keep the starter, Treese, for Incarnate Word off the low block. And a foul whistled down low. Raiders. Wilkins with Marcola. Ulrich, Humphreys, and Mackenzie Foley. 5 on the floor for the last 58 seconds. Free throw is good for Lacefield. And you might think, well, with the game put away in the last minute, the Raiders have emptied the bench. Why hasn't Incarnate Word? Well, this is their season opener. I mean, they're trying to work on some things. They went through some real problems in the second and early third quarters in which the Raiders nearly took this game away. So I don't blame a coach in the season opener for wanting to work on some things in a game where his team has obviously struggled.
And he took Bell and Collier out, so his 2 superstars are out.
Whitfield gets 2. Wilkins, rather, gets 2, and it's 49-32. The layup is good for Treese. She's come on with 5 points here in the fourth quarter, and it's 51. Make it 52-32. Humphreys down the lane, has to alter her shot over the long outstretched arms of Treese. 15 seconds, now 12. Lacefield brings it into the front court. A 20-point spread as the Raiders fall to Incarnate Word in their season opener here at the Pit. That's going to be it. Easily picks it up. The game is over. The streak is over. And this game goes to Incarnate Word by the final of 52-32.